Hi guys, my name is Tawny Marilyn. Thank you so much for watching Strangely Sane with me, Tawny Marilyn. So, you can be in any situation, so don't judge too harshly. I myself have looked around and seen the hard things that people have gone through and recognized I was one or two decisions from that same exact position in life. And that just lets you know that you're not exempt from anything. Your privilege does not make you exempt from anything. Your looks do not exempt you from anything. Hell, you can look at California and see that even the money that you do have, the hard work that you have put in, does not exempt you from experiencing trauma. It doesn't stop you from experiencing hardship. It doesn't stop you from experiencing difficult times. Those, it's meant for everybody. Everybody has something to overcome in their life. That's just how it is. And it's so easy to feel superior to people when they're going through a hard time. It's so easy to say, oh, well, that would never be me. If I was in that position, I would have done something completely different. Well, how do you know? You haven't been in that position. You have no idea what you would do. Because while you're in that position, you're sitting there, you're fighting for your life just to make it to the next day, just to make it to the next season of your life. It's not as easy as it sounds, and it's easy to look at everything from a helicopter view and be like, oh, well, if you do, then you'll make it here. Well, when you're in that situation, you don't see do. You may see do, but you may not see the do that goes after it. So pump your brakes on how quick you are to judge. Pump your brakes on how you think you would do something, because I am sure, me personally, I know that I've been in tough situations and made crappy decisions while in those tough situations, because I'm trying to make it. I'm fighting my way through. And sometimes I may hit a quick little bob and weave, and other times I'm getting knocked across the jaw, you know? So it's easy to get knocked across the jaw when you don't see the hit coming. And I want y'all to be mindful of that. So when you look at people and you're like, couldn't be me. You better than me. Maybe they are better than you. Because maybe if you were in that same exact situation, you would make even crappier decisions because you don't know how you're going to get out of that situation. So let's all extend grace to other people, especially if we're not in that situation, especially if we have never been in that situation. I know that. So I've been in a couple of abusive relationships in my life, and when you talk to people about it, they are quick to say, oh, well, I would never be in an abusive situation. But the funny thing about being in abusive relationships is nobody starts off punch you in the face. Nobody does. It hasn't been done. Well, maybe it has been done. But if somebody starts off very early on punching you in the face, then guess what you know? This person will punch me in the face. But a lot of times it's more sinister than that. It's attacking your self-esteem, making you feel like, hey, I'm not worthy of anything. Nobody's gonna love you. Nobody can love you the way that I love you. You leave me today, nobody will ever want you again. Stuff like that. They get into your head and they get into your mental. And then it starts off with a pinch and you let it slide because, oh, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't so bad. And then it progressively gets worse where you're already mentally so down on yourself that you don't think you can do better. And so when you hear people say, oh, well, that could never be me, I hope and pray that it never is you, because it is a terrible situation to be in and it is a hard situation to get out of. But you never know if it can be you, because those highs, baby, let me tell you, those highs are high, okay? You feel like you can fly and do anything and everything because this relationship is perfect. I feel so good around this person. Like, oh my God. And then the lows, you can barely pick yourself up off the floor. That's how low it is. So you think that you can't find yourself in that situation, but who says that you can't? You talk about, oh, well, gosh, here's these people living outside. That could never be me. You see people in California, and hopefully those people have a safe place to go to, that hopefully they have a good support system that can help pick them up when they are down. But who's to say they do? There could be somebody that is now sleeping on the streets, have a beautiful home, and now they have nowhere to turn to. The fact is, most Americans are one tragedy away from being homeless. So before you look at those people on the side of the street begging for money and say, oh, that could never be me, understand that you are a lot closer to being in that situation than you think. So we all have to get to a point where we extend grace to one another, where we see people going through a hard time and you say, dang, I hope I'm never in that situation. But while I'm not in that situation, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to put out a special blessing for you. Here, I don't have a lot, but here's $2. This is all I got. This is all I got to spare. And if we all look out for each other, because the reality is we can't depend on our government. We can't depend on people in power. We can't depend on billionaires to come and help us out. All we have is each other. All we have are our neighbors. So instead of judging your neighbor, help your neighbor out in whatever way you can. And a lot of times it's not going to be financial, because it's just not always going to be financial. That's not always where the blessings come. Sometimes the blessings come through a meal, or the blessings come through a conversation, or the blessings come through a smile, because that's all you got to give. And sometimes you just got to give what you have. So I urge you to extend your empathy, extend your grace to everybody, including yourself, because it's easy to even judge yourself for going through hard times. I know back when I was in those relationships, once I got out, who was going easy on me? Y'all think y'all can go hard on somebody? No. Nobody can go as hard on me as I can. I promise you that. Nobody. And if you're anything like me and you find yourself going through hard times and you're just like, you could have done better. You really suck. You suck as a person, because if you were a better person, you would have never gone through that. If you were a smarter person, you would have seen that a mile away. You shouldn't have gone through that. Couldn't be me now. So extend yourself that same empathy and grace, because we are all out here fighting for our lives. We're all out here just trying things, seeing if it'll work. And sometimes it's not going to work, and sometimes it works out beautifully. And if you're in that time where it's not quite working out the way that you want it to work out, if it's not quite working the way you think it should work out, it's okay. It's okay. That just means you're not done. But you will make it through this battle, and you'll make it through all of your battles. And when you look back on that girl or that guy who went through it, I need you to be like, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I made it through. Yeah, it was hard. Yeah, maybe I should have seen it, but I didn't. But I made it through. I'll see you next time. I promise you that. And learn your lesson, but give yourself that grace, because, baby, you were just doing as best as you could. Just like now, you're doing as best as you can. So good for you on learning your lesson. Good for you on knowing how to pivot. Good for you for expecting better and not just settling in the dirt because you got hurt. I'm so proud of you for making it through, because hard things are hard. I don't care what nobody says, hard things are hard and they suck to go through. And you made it through. So yes, round of applause for you. Round of applause for me. We should all be patting ourselves on the back, because, oh my God, life could be so much easier. Life could be so much easier. So yes, if you are going through a hard time right now, know that you'll make it through. And whether you take a few hits, whether you learn how to bob and weave, or you learn how to walk away before the fight even begins, I'm proud of you. And you made it through. Good for you. Thank you for watching Strangely Sane with Tawny Marilyn. I hope to see you again. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. If you have made it through any hard times, I want you to like. And if you're brave and you're bold and you want to give your testimony, I would love to hear it in the comments. Any questions, comments, or concerns, I would love to hear those too.